Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Couch TV. Today we're talking with Chris. Hi, Chris. Nice to see
Hey,
you
how you
again.
doing today? Pleased to be here as always.
So, thank you for being here again. I know you joined on a couple of episodes previously, but
Yeah,
today I would like to talk to you personally. So, I'd like to know more about what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. So, if you can just start about yourself a little bit, and then we'll move forward.
cool. Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I First of all, thanks for having me again. I could do these type of things all day long. I enjoy adding value and I enjoy spreading the message. A bit about myself. So I'm 39. I was actually 39 last Monday, which was quite nice. Still feel about 19, 20. I'm not gonna lie. I still
Happy
feel young.
birthday. Happy belated.
Where was the present?
Okay, this will be a present to the world as well.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. So I was 39 last week. I live with my beautiful wife and our four beautiful daughters. And now I'm a mind body life coach and mental performance coach. I left the Royal Marines in 2013, so known as the British Commandos. Lived and breathed it, absolutely loved it. Went into personal training, which was actually quite a nice transition, really going from that environment to helping others and adding value, right? You'll hear me say that term a lot in today's chat, adding value. And I went into personal training, did that for a period of time as a personal trainer, and then kind of morphed into mind body life coaching when my love and passion for anything the mind kind of kicked in. And then since then, now my passion is mental performance and helping people make great decisions and create routines that add value to their life and the lives of the people that they care about. And I know it sounds really simplistic, but I think sometimes it's nice keeping it simple like that, you know?
Yeah, it's great, especially when you know that the mind and body are connected. So you cannot
100%.
be tired and then perform well. It's all in synergy with
Yeah.
between each other.
Yes, the mind body, right?
Mind and body, yes, and spirit and soul. All this, it's all connection.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
when I was putting, I'll put it again. So when I was putting introduction, can you tell me more about what all this mean? Because I think I've taken it from the website.
Yeah,
So
cool.
we'll start from fundamental coach.
Okay. No, no,
What do you do?
that's a really cool question. So the fundamental coach work is was my, we should say, is my bread and butter since leaving the Marines. It's my coaching practice. It's my one-on-one coaching, primarily with mainly men, but I also train several females as well. And the fundamental coach, where that came about from actually was, we talk about in life advanced tactics and doing things that are quite complex. When actually, I truly believe no matter what field you're in, it's about the fundamentals. And so that's where the fundamental came in, coach. But also, when coming up with that word, it's got two words that are really important to me when it comes to life, and that is fun and mental, right?
And
And life should be fun, coaching should be fun, growth should be fun. I think if you haven't got enough fun in your life, that can have a major impact. So I like having fun and with the people that I work with, but also the word mental.
Mhm.
100%. It's where the mental performance game has come in. We know there's the mental and the physical, and there's a very close link between the two. But I think a lot in modern society, we focus on those physical changes we can make and physical performance and physical fitness, when actually, when you start working on what's between your ears here and you work on mental fitness and mental strength and mental agility and mental performance, the areas that it can impact in your life, when you start putting aside some time on that, can be absolutely gargantuan. So that's where the word fundamental came in, the fundamental coach.
Fundamental. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. What about, we'll do it again. The UK's only mind, body, and life coach. Where did it come from?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was a personal trainer when I first left the Marines, and how can I say it? I was proud to be a personal trainer. I knew I was adding value, but I just felt it. What does a personal trainer do? It could be so many things. And so I call myself a mind body life coach. And the way I operate, and the different tools and the different skills and the different kind of fields that I like to bring in, I truly do feel, without sounding big-headed, I don't want to come across in that way at all, but I truly do feel it's a very hybrid approach. And so I used to joke about that. I used to call it personal training on steroids, in that there was that added extra that you can't really put into words. And that's what mind, body, life coaching is. It's where a session may start working on this area, but through
Mhm.
just that natural conversation, you're then working on this area. But in one way or another, it's working on the mind of the people that I work with, the bodies, the people that I work with. And funny old thing, when you're talking about mind and body, or the mind body, you're going to talk about life. You're going to talk
Mhm.
about, what's important in their lives, who's important in their lives, what's maybe stones left untouched or turned at the moment they want to work on. So yeah, mind, body, life coaching. I'm very passionate about it, but like I said, it's the mind that really gets me excited. I could talk about it all day.
Mhm. And what's important to you, Chris?
Oh, how long we got?
Not much, so you have to be short.
No, I'm only joking. I think if it takes you too long to say what's important, straight away you've not got enough clarity. For me,
Mhm.
my health, my loved ones' health, no doubt about it. Happiness, feeling content, my family being happy on a day-to-day basis and moving forward. It'd be foolish not to say that the whole world is important to me, because I think my kids are growing up in it. My wife and I are growing up in it, and I'd like to think that we're all in some way doing something that's going to contribute to a happier, healthier kind of existence moving forward. I don't know how likely that is to be for my impact on the whole world as a whole, but yeah, for me, it's my family being happy and healthy and hungry for
Mhm.
life. And I think if you can tick those three boxes, you'll make me a very happy guy.
Happy guy. We do as much as we can in this
Yeah,
world. Yeah.
no, for sure.
So, what's your important? What the message that you want to share with the viewers?
Oh, do you know what I like? Do you know what I said to you, Di? I remember when we spoke about doing this, and I said that I
Yeah.
really enjoy a raw interview. Sometimes you
Mhm.
can plan things, you can come up with questions, but when you're just
Mhm.
raw like this is what messaging is about, and about coaching. It's about, this is what you see, what you get. For me, it's a classic line, which is awareness, choices, execution. I like to think that with coaching, I can, and spend time with people, I can create awareness about things that
Mhm.
maybe they could work on. But then ultimately, it comes down to the choices that you're then going to make. So awareness is great, but the choices that you make on the back of that awareness, that's what's critical. And then the truly final outcomes, otherwise known as action. So awareness, choices, execution. And I like to kind of follow that kind of process of change with nearly everyone that I work with, because it's just that logical progression from creating awareness to then going, okay, we've now got that. What choices could we make that are going to work for you and your environment and your current situation? And then how are we going to make it as highly likely that you are going to follow through on those choices? Because, I'm sure you'll agree, I could decide to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and go on a 10K run. That's all great. But if I don't actually do it, I'm not going to help myself in the process, because then tomorrow I'm not going to feel great, because I'm subconsciously, my brain's going, well, you didn't do what you said you were going to do.
Mhm.
So the execution element and the action element is so important. And I think it's, again, I could talk about this kind of work all day. It's about making it as easy and as simple as possible to take that action, removing barriers, removing conflicts. We're making it so simple that it's not a guarantee that you'll do it, but you've got a real high probability that it's going to happen. And I think if you allow that in various areas of your life, you won't go wrong. But for everyone watching this, definitely awareness, choices, execution. It's a really good model. And like I said, it's easy to remember with the word ACE.
Ace. Okay.
ACE, 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 ACE.
How do you keep yourself and people that you work with accountable for the action?
Um, I keep them excited. I keep them enthusiastic. I keep them passionate about why they're doing something. It comes down to, the Simon Sinek, finding your why is a massive part of that. But I think we lack in we live in a society now where there's a lack of enthusiasm, whether that's for people in work or for something that they say they love what they do. And I don't know about you, but when I love something, I'm not just doing it once a month. I'm not just doing it once a week. When I truly love doing something, I've got no 0 days. And in actual fact, that's how I keep the people that I work with motivated. I talk about no 0 days. And what I mean by that, it's not saying, hitting the gym and doing something every single day. Or if you've got a weight loss goal, for example, doing something that's going to guarantee reduce weight loss every day, or if it's trying to earn more money, doing something that specifically earns more money that day. But it's being involved in activities every single day that keeps your mind on the prize. This is why I'm doing it. And so, yeah, for me, no 0 days is a huge thing that I use personally. And it's everyone that I come into contact with, whether that's reading, whether that's exercise, whether that's talking, whether that's listening to something, whether that's reading something, whether that's doing an amazing podcast like this, or listening to podcasts like you do and various other people around the world do. But it's just having that no 0 day. Because for me, if something's important, you can say when you last did it, and that's either today or yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. That's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it in previous episodes as well. You have
Yes.
such an energy,
Yeah.
going from you that for me, even, mellow person, I feel energized. I'm
Yeah,
sure the people who's watching, yeah.
I hope so. It's for some people I'm a little bit too much. I say that and I joke about that because you can't be everything to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I know that some people might go, "Hey, look, Chris is too much. He's too excited. He's too enthusiastic. He's too over the top." That's okay. But for the people that like me, yeah, I've got good energy levels, but I like to think a lot of that is down to a little bit of who I am naturally, but also the things that I work on a daily basis. Oprah Winfrey once said that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And so when someone goes, "Oh, love to be so lucky that you're that enthusiastic and happy and excitable." Well, yeah, there's a little bit of that opportunity in there, but there's a lot of prep work that goes in as well with habits and routines and things that I like to do. But hey, you attract certain people, you can kind of push away certain people. But I think the best thing you can be is yourself. If you do that, you won't go far wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfectly said. Well, before we go in further as well, I know that you have a master's in psychology.
Oh, nearly. I don't want to get too excited. So, yes,
Almost.
I have got it. So, I finished my dissertation actually in July and I got the grade back literally two weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So, if I've worked out my numbers, it's all now completed and I've got my graduation on the 28th of November. And if I've worked out my numbers right, yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. It was interesting doing. I'm not going to lie, Dyer, during COVID and work commitments and family commitments and making the time, because you have to make the time for things that are important to you. I like to think it comes easy sometimes, but you got to make the time. You got to force it sometimes. But yeah, really proud I did that. It's nice to get that bit of paper and that knowledge as well that you can use in all areas. Yeah, it's great.
Definitely. That was I was going to another question. If it wasn't coaching, what it would be?
Oh, well, this is an interesting question. Someone asked me this a few weeks ago, actually, another client did. And I'm very passionate, even though I only work with a few younger people, I'm very, very passionate, especially since becoming a parent myself and having four daughters, aged 3, 8, 12, and 14, is children's mental health and children's well-being. And I look at what people like social workers do and counselors. And by the way, they're not always the most well-paid or the easiest jobs in the slightest. But there's no doubt about it. It's something that being a proud parent and being through certain things that I've been through in my life with my children, I could definitely see me going, if it wasn't coaching, doing something along those kind of lines, because yeah, you don't get to pick how you come into this world. When you are born, you have had no say up until that point. And unfortunately, children don't have a say in that. And some children get born and brought into this world in lovely conditions, and some get brought into this world with conditions that are just, one, not fair, not very nice, and quite upsetting. So if you could, work with certain children and types of children to help them be happy, flourish, words that I've already used today. Yeah, I think that would be a highly exciting role and a highly gratifying role for sure.
Rewarding, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay.
Yeah, like for example, I don't mind saying this. We've got my four daughters, and my eldest two were actually from my previous partner. And unfortunately, when I was in, I don't mind saying this as well, I don't mind being authentic and genuine. When I was in Afghanistan, when I was in the Marines, I came back and we'd already separated at that point. But unfortunately, she had a few things going on at the time. And so I got full custody of my two young children. And luckily for me, I say luckily for me, I left the Marines because of that. I met my wife and we've had
Mhm.
two beautiful children since then. But it made me appreciate that not everyone can just change their career like that. Not everyone has got a parent that can step up like that. And I'm not trying to fly my flag here at all. I'm just trying to set the scope for it. But what would have happened if I wasn't as involved? What would have happened to my children if I didn't change my career? What would have happened to my children if they'd have become a data, a bit of number on a spreadsheet somewhere? So it's important. It's important for me.
Wow. Yeah, it's not, as you said, it's not about waving your flag.
No,
It's about different people have different circumstances and they take in the opportunity what they have at the moment. That definitely. Well, I'm glad that this worked out well. And yeah, I can imagine having four daughters.
yeah.
How is it? How is
Well,
it having a
I sometimes make this joke, by the way. Sometimes it goes down better than others. That's why I got into psychology. You know what I mean? When you have teenage daughters and you're a male, for example, always been
Mhm.
involved in male settings, football, the Marines, which is all
Mhm.
guys. It gives you a different perspective on life, right? But I wouldn't change my girls for anything. They're brilliant, and I've got to say, it's really nice having them about. They're all different ages. They've all got different personality traits. Like anyone else, they've got strengths, they've got weaknesses, they've got things
Mhm.
that you love
Mhm.
about them, and things that God they wind you up. But if they didn't have that, it wouldn't make them who they are, right? It's
It would be
yeah,
different person, yes.
yeah. It's an interesting life. There's always if there's one thing I would say about having a big family, because I know there's different sizes. I'm sure there's families that are a lot bigger than ours as well, but I would
Mhm.
class a kind of 6-person family or 6-person home as a slightly large family. 4 children, 2
Mhm.
adults.
Mhm.
It's a fun household. There's always something going on. There's always something to get your attention or something going on within the house. It's an experience, is what I would say.
Definitely, definitely. I'm really hoping that you get in your me time as well as your
Oh,
wife.
yeah, well, this is me time.
Okay.
For me, this is me time. Talking with you, doing this, having this lovely conversation, adding value, learning as
Mhm.
well, talking, changing views, and thinking about things. This is me time. So I make sure I get my me time. And I don't put it nicely. I know everyone's got different circumstances, and if I can do it with 4 children and running a business and also being there for my wife, it's not to say everyone has it easy. I'm not saying that. That's why when people talk about the whole 168 hours in a week, hey, I get that. I understand mathematically, there's no doubt about it. We
Mhm.
all have 168 hours. However, different circumstances. But I truly do believe you need that you time. And however you can get that, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's just 1 minute, everyone's got different circumstances. But if you can create that little bit of time for you, it will make you a better partner, in my opinion. It will make you a better child, a better parent, a better colleague, a better friend, because you're feeling
Mhm.
more of that in there about what you exist and what you're about. So yeah, me time is really important.
Mhm. And everyone has different threshold as well. Some
Yes,
people, as you said, some people can have 5 minutes and they will be totally recharged, and some people will really need to take a whole day in a spa or something. I'm just exaggerating, but
yes.
it could be true as well.
No, in
But
fact, I was talking with a client about this morning, Dio, about the same thing. And they live in about 15 minutes away from where the unit is where I am now. And they've got a massive lake out the back. It's about, I'd say it's like about a 3.5 mile kind of loop around the lake. And sometimes walking around that lake is a really nice thing to do, but it's quite a long time if you're trying to get the 3.5 miles. And I was like, do you know what? You could just walk there and stand by the lake for a couple of minutes and come
mhm.
back. You could even have a picture of the lake in your home and just look at it and then visualize what it'd be like. There's loads of things you can do, but it's about
Mhm.
making that time to have that downtime. Just like a Formula One race has the laps and a pit stop. We need our
Mhm.
little pit stops. Just like a phone. I've got my phone next to me. If I don't charge it, it doesn't work. And I think we're very much similar to that. We need that time, that downtime.
Mhm. Good example. So the question I was asking, I think I remember in the first episode
Yeah.
about the name, the coaching.
Yes.
I don't think it's a greatest name they've chosen.
Okay, go on.
I'm sure there could be something that actually explains, because coaching, again, coaching can be in sport, coaching can be in personal coach as a
Yes.
personal trainer. And when we're talking about coaching, about the mentality, about human possibilities, it's a bit different coaching, isn't it?
Yes.
I wish there was another word explaining our kind of coaching.
Yeah. Well, come up with a word. That's the beauty of this, right?
That's what
I
we were
think the reason
trying to
we're on
do, but yeah, we need more opinions. What would you call it if it wasn't coaching?
if it wasn't coaching, do you know, I couldn't give you an answer to that now because I've called loads of things, a bit like personal training to mind, body, life coaching, still using the
Okay.
word coaching
Hmm.
there, whether it's
Hmm.
coaching, whether it's training, whether it's, enthusing. I don't know, but there's a load of words you could use. I think find a word that suits you and that resonates with you. And, when we talk about like things in your peripheral, if you want
Hmm.
something to really mean something to you, you got to make sure you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it, you talk about it a lot. So it really embodies part of who you are. Come up with a word, I don't know, that just resonates really deeply with you and just call it that. Who's to say you could be wrong? We can describe anything in any way we want. That's called freedom. And if you have a word that suits you, then so be it. I think it's as simple as that.
Because I'm sure there's also negative um, feeling about coaches at the moment as well. Some because they don't understand, and some because they had a bad experience with unprofessional coaches. Let's say
Yes. Yeah,
so.
it's funny you say that, and don't you love that about life? I'm part of a networking group, and this networking group specifically has got some really good chapters,
Mhm.
but there's also some chapters maybe that aren't as good as our chapter. So when someone hears that you're part of a certain group, they go, "Oh well, I had a bit of a bad experience with a chapter like that a while ago." It's the same with coaching, and
Mhm.
I think that's unfortunately, and this is just by the by, you can have standards, you can have regulations, you can have CPD requirements, but just like any industry and any job, there is a spectrum. There is a
Mhm.
line from really top of the top to unfortunately ones that aren't as good. And I think that's the
Mhm.
same with coaching. I think there's some phenomenal coaches in the field. I think, and there's so many elements to coaching that we've now got so many different coaches in all these different little segments of coaching. But it's
True.
by the by that you're going to have, unfortunately, some coaches that aren't as good as other coaches as well. It's the same with teachers,
Mhm.
policemen, nurses, musical artists, actors, actresses. It's just by the by, but there are some outrageously good coaches out there that have a phenomenal impact on people. And I don't know if you agree. Do you know what I love about coaching, Di? If you don't mind me saying this, do you know? Can I say something to you? I hope you don't mind me saying
Yes.
this. What I love
Yes. Yeah.
about coaching
Yes.
is
Mm.
you can say something like we are having this conversation now, and this goes on your YouTube channel, and you share it about, and through someone that I have never met. I've never, they didn't know me maybe before today. I don't know them. And something can be said in a coaching way that has a profound impact on their life. And then what gets even more exciting is that because it had such a profound impact on their life, they then tell someone else what they've heard. Oh, yeah, there was a great podcast to listen to. Chris and Di were talking and they said this, they said that. And next thing they tell someone. And that's the beauty of coaching. It's just through one moment, you get that one to many. And that's through
Mhm.
no initial point of wanting to do that. But when you have these conversations, that's what can happen. So exciting. So, so exciting.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, it's the power of sharing. One of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast. I don't think many people really need extra videos on YouTube. And it's like a drop in the ocean, but still,
Yeah,
I'm sure that people who search it, people who find it, they were looking for something. And hopefully that these videos or part of the conversation, maybe as you said, Chris, one word can change someone's life. We'll
yeah,
never know. We'll just, with our good intention, we put it out there, and hopefully it helps someone.
yeah, for
Definitely.
sure. Right time, right place. You know, how often do you speak to people where, I don't know, they'll be working with someone and at just one specific moment, they may have watched a film or they may have read something in the news or they're having a conversation with someone and you just get that moment. And that's what it
Aha
takes.
moment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, exactly. That the aha moment. And it's, but you need to have that moment to get that real change. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, you can listen to podcasts, go on courses, tell people you're going to do it and all that. But it's actually having that moment where the payoff becomes significant, where you go, right, this is it. I've now really, it's now resonated with me. This is going to happen if I do make this choice, but also this could happen if I don't make this choice.
Hmm.
You know, it comes down to pain and pleasure, and like I said, making that payoff significant. But yeah, when people get that moment, that aha moment, yeah, amazing. Greatness can happen in that one instant.
Yeah, and realizing the consequences when they don't take the opportunity. That's
Yeah,
just being aware of what things can happen if we do or don't. True.
yeah, for sure.
Your tips on mind and body, on
Oof.
on wellness of mind and body.
Yeah,
Tips that someone that watching us and have no absolutely no sport education or no experience,
yeah.
but someone that anyone can do.
Okay. Again, I want to keep this really specific rather than going too vague with loads of different tools. I'll give you a
Hmm.
tool. Something that for me is really important is the MIT. And again, if you're watching this at any point, please write those letters down. MIT, most important task. Whether you're into sport, into health and fitness, whether you've got a career, whether there's a relationship you're trying to work on, your finances, whatever it is, have an MIT, most important task each day. Now, that may come from a bit of reflection time the night before. It may come from your golden time in the morning when you're running your morning routine, should you have one. But have a most important task. When you allow that focus at the beginning of your day and say, this is my most important task today. It may be something that won't take much time. It may be something that takes a lot of time, but it's the fact that you straight away, before the world has taken over a little bit and taken your attention and taking some of your energy away, it's you saying, this is my MIT today. This is my most important task. So that'd be one of them. And I'd probably say that the second point I like to share, and again, I could share loads of tools and insights here, but there you go, MIT, most important task. That's a really good one, by the way. The second one, and I wish it's something that I try and talk with my own children and my clients and my wife and I talk about this regularly because as you can imagine, loads of things happen that you can't control. I like to think we can control. You can't control everything in life, but what is important is to look for the opportunities. And so you can write down next WTOH. What's the opportunity here? No matter the situation, what is the opportunity? It may be, for example, my daughter wasn't very well yesterday. I had to change a couple of coaching clients, one that was face to face and two online. Now, the two online was actually really simple to change. Whether I was doing it in my unit here or at home with my daughter was no issue whatsoever. But the face to face, the opportunity there was to say, I need a really streamlined system for when this happens again that makes it really easy to transition from a face to face to an online. He's asking for that, what the opportunity is here. I got given an example a while ago, and someone said to me, oh, okay, what about when someone in your family or close to you passes away? There is no positive to that. And there's no doubt about it. It's not about putting these positive lens on. It's not a very nice time when someone passes that you
Hmm.
love and you care about. But what's the opportunity here, you might ask, Chris? And I'll tell you what the answer to that is. What about the people that are now still in your life? How much
Hmm.
more time could you spend with them? How much more could you find out about them? What could you plan to arrange more regular meetups? And I had that as a recent experience last year. We lost a couple of family members. It was my granddad, my mum's dad, and my auntie, my mum's sister. My mum lost both of
Mm-hmm.
those in a very short space of time. And what I found from that was to almost kind of go, wow, this makes me want to appreciate the people that are still around, rather than, oh, we'll see them in a few months. We'll see them
Mm-hmm.
next year. So, well, hang on, nah, life's too short. So for me, that what's the opportunity here is a really powerful. And what it allows you to do, Dyer, as well, is focus that energy positively rather than negatively. Because when you focus on the negative, it doesn't make you feel good. It saps your energy. You put out a different vibe. You don't add value. But when you then straight into the positive, good things happen. Opportunities seem
Mm-hmm.
to find your way. Again, a little bit like Oprah Winfrey with, luck equals preparation opportunity. You get more lucky. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really important. Again, I could share so many tools and insights that could work in all different fields, but definitely the MIT most important task and asking yourself regularly, what's the opportunity here, are two really good tools that anyone can use in any situation, for sure.
Brilliant. Brilliant. When you're talking about the opportunity here and giving an example of positive versus negative
Yeah.
thinking
Yes.
during the situations like that, why our mind is so fast in going into negative thinking?
Yeah. Oh, well, we know about this. It's a protective mechanism. Again,
Mhm.
it comes down to that negativity bias and that it's trying to protect us. I know you probably a lot of people talk about the saber-toothed tiger example. Everyone likes to use that
Yeah.
one, right? Where, very back in generations evolution, it was to protect you from a saber-toothed tiger or an animal that was trying to get you you would survive from. So that's why it's there. It's almost, it can hijack your mind. And we get so fearful and so wary, and it's that it's almost that, and I heard this a while ago in a course I did, it's that overactive, overdeveloped threat system. It's having that
Mhm.
overdeveloped threat system. And so it's about being aware of it. And it's about looking at things that you can do and utilize to improve that, so that actually you just react in a different way and your mind creates a different feeling around that. Because events happen, there's no doubt about that, right? There's some things you can't control, things are going to happen. But if you are constantly going into that fight or flight and you're on edge and you're reacting negative like that, anything you can do to learn to react in a slightly different way. Event plus response equals outcome, right? You can't change the event, but you've got a certain outcome, change your response to that. But that takes practice, and I don't know
Mhm.
if you agree, Dyer. Again, I'll talk about the Amazon Prime generation. That's me. But I do remember a time when you ordered something, whether it was eBay or whatever, and it would take a week. And I remember as a kid go, yes, be here in a week. Whoa! Now, if you order something that said a week, you're going to change your order, go somewhere else. But life isn't like that. So when you're trying to work on these things, again, if you're talking about like the last question with those two insights I could share, another little insight to add to that would be this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Yes, you can have some immediate value and some immediate
Mhm.
satisfaction and things that you can implement very quickly, but it doesn't always work like that. So don't expect, just because you want something to change, and just because you put the time and effort in, doesn't mean it's going to happen the next day. You wake up, whoa, I'm a different person. It doesn't work like that. It takes that practice. It takes that consistency. And that's not meant to deflate you, by the way. That's meant to make you go, wow, this is worth it. I'm going to have to work for this. But as always, the rewards are worth it, because even now we're talking about this, we're sharing it. It has an impact on you and your loved ones. I'll come back to that again. Your loved ones. It has that profound impact. Every action and every decision you make is impacting you, maybe your kids, and maybe your kids, and you don't even know it yet. You know what I mean? Because they're going to take something away from how you act. So yeah, you probably guessed already, my kids are quite a big motivator for me.
Well, yeah, good for them. Well, if they're like a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, well, yes, good things takes time
Yeah.
and takes effort as well. You need to put in some effort to get some good results. It's not
Yeah.
that, as
And
you
it's
said,
important.
you.
Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean, guy? Like, I don't know about you. Like, it's important. Effort. Like, things don't come easy. Like, if you look at anyone, I don't know if you agree with this, you may not agree with this, but everyone that has achieved, so I'm not talking about the flukes or, the real random thing that I know
Mhm.
someone's never played the lottery before and they win 10 million on the lottery. That is a fluke. But if you look at the people that are at the top of what they do, or the happiest of what they do, or the healthiest, they're getting rewarded in public for what they
Mm-hmm.
have practiced in private.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes effort, it takes time. It may take getting up a little bit earlier. It may take in your free time between a coaching call and picking your kids up in 20 minutes that you do a podcast like this, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it. It takes effort. And I think if that's one message we could send to youngsters and not even to youngsters, to anyone in the world, like things take effort, but if it means something to you and you really want to be a master of your craft in that area, then it's fully worth it. It really is worth it. Putting that work in, putting that effort in, putting that consistency in. It's that. I suppose it's that personal responsibility in daily excellence, in being the best that you could possibly be, not
Mm-hmm.
just being that'll do. No, it won't do. Be the best that you can possibly be in that moment.
And when you're working hard and then you're getting results, the reward of it and the feeling of accomplishment is totally different when something just fall into your laps,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because you know that you work hard, you probably sacrifice something or you pushed yourself to the limits, and then in the end you got something that you wanted,
Yes.
that you got results. So
Yes.
if it was given you for free, you wouldn't even appreciate it. If the
Mhm.
same thing would come to you, for example, like I don't know, you work so hard for your education. Yes,
Yes.
you took 2 3 jobs to just to pay for it, and then you didn't sleep all night studying for it, and then you got your diplomas, you got your certification degrees. You will appreciate it more than someone done it for you and you just got to pay for diploma. I'm just
I know. I'm with you on that.
just
I couldn't agree more,
yeah.
Daya. It's good things come to those who work hard, work
Mhm.
smart, put the work in, put the graft in, try and make the world a better place, try and make their own little world a better place. But it is about effort. Like if it was too easy, you wouldn't get that same value. And deep down in our brains, the way the brain loves it. When we say we're going to do something, and the brain knows that it's put the work in, and you put the work in, and then you get that release. That's why we have dopamine and things like that, right? It's just
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
reward us. To go, woof! Here we go. That felt great, and then we want to do more. And it's not about constantly trying to do more, but it's about saying, "Wow, when I put my mind to it, and I did this for me, this happened." And you can't help but get excited about that. And I don't know about you, but I truly believe when you find something that works, you can then borrow little clues from that success to use on something else. So
Mhm.
that kind of those things worked in that area, but you've also got a goal over here. What could I pinch from that? What could I? Well, getting up early worked for that. Maybe it could work for that. Staying up for an extra half an hour reading in that area that worked for that. Putting
Mhm.
in a certain amount of time in that area. Could that work for that? And success leaves clues. But it's all about the
Mhm.
effort. It's what it's about. And it feels great when you make that effort and you get that reward as well, intrinsically and extrinsically, for sure.
Definitely. Again, that experience that you're getting while you're getting into success,
Yeah.
you can translate to other goals. Maybe some will work, maybe some will not, but you have a reference that you can go back to and
Yeah.
see what things to pick up. Right.
Yeah, but again,
Definitely.
though, Daya, and again, I could talk about this stuff with you all day because I know you're on the same wavelength. People put pressure on it, right? How do scientists work when they're trying to create something new? Do they come up with something brand new the first time they try it?
No,
No,
tries
what
and
do they do?
fails. Yes.
Yeah, they experiment, they trial and
Hmm.
error. It's the
Yeah.
same with life. And it's not to say just go, willy-nilly, but try experiment. Come up with
Hmm.
different things. Look at what people are doing that are maybe slightly further ahead than you are in that field. Well, what did they do? Give that a go. Don't put pressure on it. If it works, it
Hmm.
works. If it doesn't, give it a bit of time. Now, I'm not saying switch every single day. If it doesn't work one day, just change it. Give it a bit of time. But if after a certain amount of time you're going, I'm not getting the results that I want from this choice, try something else. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. Say, well done for giving that a go. It's time to try something different. And then give that 110% as well. It's
Hmm.
about trial and error. It's about experimenting. We are experiments. Experiment with yourself. Experiment with habits. Experiment with different situations. Give things a go. Don't be scared of failing. Failing creates so many opportunities for success. It's unbelievable.
Hmm. And plus, I'm glad you say it about habits. Every habit takes time to develop.
Yes.
Isn't it true? I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about the specific 28 days or whatever people were saying, but for I'm sure for different people at different timing. But
yeah,
it takes time. So as you said, it's not like you tried something today and then tomorrow it didn't work out. I'll move on. No, give it time. See how it helps you. If it
yes,
does, if it doesn't help you, just change something. Change the whole thing or change the small thing that you willing to try in a different way.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. Like habits, like a
Hmm.
habit becomes a habit when it becomes harder not to do the thing than to do the thing.
Hmm.
That's when you know it's then you bang on that. But you're right. I've heard people say before, you have it in 10 days. Normally, it's a minimum of 20 odd days for a habit. But
Hmm.
if you go anything up to more like 180, 200, 250 days, depending on the complexity of what you're trying to change and also how deeply rooted that old
Hmm.
behavior is. Now, you're not telling me if I've been, I don't know, drinking beer every night for 10 years, that in 20 days, I'm going to be able to break that habit completely. Now, don't be wrong, some people may be able to,
Good.
but on
Hmm.
average, it can take a little bit longer. Depends how rooted it is, for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. And same with the good habits and with the bad habits, and same with the what we believe in, our values, our beliefs.
Yeah.
When you're trying to work with your limited beliefs and you're
Yeah.
trying to change them, it also takes time. It's not
Yeah.
like I will say, okay, thinking about what people like caring about what people think about you is really not a good thing to do. You need to live your own life. It takes
Yeah.
time for you to stop caring. It takes work on yourself as well to change your mind on a daily basis, to regulate it, be aware when you feel that your
Yeah.
brain goes again, oh, what those people say. And that goes for mental again and physical health,
Yeah.
isn't it? When you go in and start to go into gym, that's the habit also that needs time to establish.
Yeah. But everyone's different, Daya. You
Mm,
know, like, I know for example, I'll give you a classic example. I know for some people, I'm not trained in this, by the way. So people will say you shouldn't be talking about what you're not knowledgeable about. But I'll give you a layman's example. Hypnotherapy. I know some
mhm,
people that would say, what a complete waste of time. But I also know people, by the way, I'm not trained in this. This is not my field. But I know people that have had the most sensational experience with a hypnotist and been able to break habits like that. And so
mhm,
it comes down to being that individual thing. Give things a go. Again, coming back to that whole trial and error. Just because your best friend, for example, says this is the best thing, doesn't mean it's going to be the best thing for you.
mhm,
Just because if you're trying to break a limiting belief, someone said, I'm NLP trained, CBT trained. I love all that, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. So don't be downbeat. Give things a little go. There's loads of different forms of therapy, for example, for a reason. Different things work better on different people. Just like training systems in the gym, just like workouts, where someone might do a workout and it has the most profoundly amazing effect on their body in a space of 30 days. But then someone may do that program and it takes 90 days. Everyone's
mhm,
slightly different. Treat yourself as an individual. Spend time finding out exactly what makes you tick, and don't just go on the advice of everybody else. Even me now and yourself, Di, you're giving a bit of advice. Question that advice, research it a little bit more. Oh, yeah, they said that. I might look into that a little bit. Yeah, that's how I like to coach. I like to learn, implement, tweak, and I follow that process all the way along.
mhm,
Share some knowledge, change some knowledge, investigate. It's important, and everyone can do that too.
mhm. Yeah, find what works for you. Even
Yeah.
in coaching, when we get in new clients, introduction, that's your chemistry call.
Yes.
You're getting to know the person and the person gets to know you. Yes, I know it's like a 30, 45 minutes, but
Yeah.
even in that instance, sometimes you can feel you can work with this person or you cannot.
Yeah.
That's the chemistry, what we're talking about. I'll be perfectly probably working with someone else, but when I'm on a call with Chris, I was like, okay, um, He's too enthusiastic for me. I cannot work with him.
I'm going. That's it. I'm done.
No.
But
No, it's just a joke. No,
yeah,
but this is just an example. And the same, the Chris will just decide, okay, Daria is just too mellow and too slow. Well, I'll prefer people with my energy. That works both ways, and it's okay. You don't have to force yourself. You just need to find the right person.
yeah.
It's a relationship. You and your coach is a relationship. As you're getting into intimate relationship as well, you looking for your person, right? Same
Yeah.
as coaching. Find that person that is good with you and you're good with them. And this is where you will get the most results.
If you want to have some fun, I'll say this to everyone that's going to be watching this. Ring, it's a British number, so obviously I'm based in the United Kingdom. So it's
Mhm.
plus 44 079 21 849 620. I say that not to plug my own number, but if you ring that number and you go to my voicemail, what you've just said will be a perfect illustration. I have a very unique voicemail. Okay. It's quite, some people may love it, some people may
Mhm.
not. But what it does, if you do not like the voicemail, you probably won't want to be coached by me either. So I do that for a specific reason. I often laugh with my dad about this, Daya, because he's old school. He's like, you can't have a voicemail like that. It's got to be more corporate. It should be. This is your name. Thank you for ringing.
Mhm.
My voicemail is not like that, but I don't coach in that way. So what I find is the people that I coach with, and they leave me a voicemail saying, "I'd like to chat to you about coaching." They've heard that voicemail, and we're vibing. We're vibing on that message. If they don't like the voicemail, I probably won't end up coaching because it's that again. It's that chemistry you spoke about. But
Mhm.
honestly, if you want to have a laugh, call my number and listen to the voicemail. It'll put a smile on your face. I think. There you go. There you go. Like I said, if I answer it, you get to speak to me. If it goes to my voicemail, you'll have a bit of a smile on your face. It's unique, but we're talking about chemistry here. Yeah, it's most of the calls I get, if they're not friends, they're to do with work and coaching. If
Mhm.
you like it, we could work together. If you don't like it, it'll probably never work anyway.
Great. So try call Chris and see if he's your person.
Yeah, if you like my dad, you probably won't like it. But hey, if we're all the same, life would be boring, right?
Exactly. Yes. Um, Before we go away,
Yes.
is there anything you would like to say to the
Um,
viewers?
success comes to those that work hard. Is what I would say. If there's something that is an itch that you are itching and you're not doing something with, then it starts with taking that first step. Make that first step really simple. It may be calling someone, it may be researching someone, but if there is something that you feel unfulfilled in or something that you're just like, man, I've got to work on this. I know something's there. Then put time aside to explore that. That may be going for a walk or a run. It may be meditating. It may be deep breathing. It may be attending a course. It may be listening to this podcast. But please remember this: if you do not change, nothing will change. If you don't change something, nothing else will change. And the world isn't going to do it for you. And I'm sure you agree, Daya, like there's no free rides in life these days.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you don't put the time into something, you're not just going to wake up the next day. Well, very rarely wake up the next day and that thing has just happened like that. Life isn't like that. There's no free ride. So if you really want something, go out and get it. And sometimes that can just start with making a phone call, sending an email, watching a course, watching a YouTube video. If something gets you a little bit excited, creates the blood flow, gets your heart rate up a little bit, it's maybe worth researching out that a little bit more.
Yeah. Better try and not like it than regret at the end that you haven't tried something in life.
All day long. Life's too short, for sure.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you, Chris. It was a
Thank you for
pleasure,
having me.
as
It's been
always.
great.
Yeah, I loved our chat. And again, energy, Chris. That's the energy that comes from you. I'm sure people who's watching it, feeling it as well.
You know that. Well,
Uh,
Di, I'm going to put it to the test. I want you to call my number. Okay, that's what you've got to do. You've got to call my number after this. Okay, and
okay.
I'll reject the call so it goes to my voicemail, and then
Okay.
you can live and breathe that voicemail. There you go. There's
Will
your
do. Will do. Thank you. Challenge accepted.
challenge. It's been an absolute pleasure, and
Will do.
hopefully for everyone that watches this, we've added some real value. That's the point of this, right?
Yes, definitely. And we'll see you next time, Chris. It's not the last time. Don't think that you'll just be here for an hour and that's it. You're done with me. No, we'll see you next time whenever you're free.
Hey, I'm there. I'm there. Looking forward to it already.
Same here. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
And I'll do the closing. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It's a totally different energy again with Chris. And we'll see you next Thursday. We're here with different guests talking about different subjects. And like, subscribe, share, comment below, and we'll answer all your questions in the next episode. For now, we are out. Thank you very much for watching.